Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the main gym here at Pioneer, where Pioneer Women's Junior Varsity Basketball is live and on the air. We are live here at the main gym here at Pioneer High School, and it is the Dexter JV team in town to take on the Pioneer Junior Varsity team. And taking a look, again, I don't have any scores out on the MHSA site, but let's talk about the last game versus Huron. We were able to bring that to you. That was the leading scores. So Pioneer won that game. Taking a look at your leading scores from last game, it was Davis with 20 points for Pioneer. Brewer had 14 points for Pioneer. Gatson had 10 points. It was 8 points for Harris, 7 points for Jones, 2 points for Richards, 2 points for Maxner, 2 points for Montine, and 2 points for Wernemount. So good effort all around over on the Huron side. It was Hester with 10 points. 8 points for Allen, 7 points for Williams, 3 points for Mathney, 2 points for Hutchins. And that was over on the Huron side. So very solid win for the Pioneer JV team versus the Huron River Rats. Now, the varsity team gets to play Skyline. But there's not a JV squad at this point in time. So Dexter was very, very gracious and came over to play the Pioneer Ladies JV team. And we are excited to get this matchup going. 6 minutes, 45 seconds up on the clock. So we are getting ready to go here. Let's play a little bit of a few messages from the MHSAA, and then we will have your opening. Well, there's not a tip-off, but we'll have the opening inbound pass coming up shortly. You're watching Pioneer Women's JV Basketball, brought to you by Harper Broadcasting.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the main gym here on the campus of Ann Arbor Pioneer, where the Ann Arbor Pioneer women's JV basketball team is hosting the Dexter Dreadnoughts. Pioneer in their home white jerseys with the purple across just around the back of the neck. The numbers in purple on the back and on the front, block lettering across the front, and some purple stripes on the side. Dexter is in their maroon jerseys with maroon numbers with a gray outline on the back and on the front, with Dexter in black lettering across the front. As we're getting ready to go, Dexter will inbound right in front of us to get things going. It's Kapisansky. The inbound right in front of us. Maxner watching the inbound pass. And we're underway as that ball over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger brings it up, top of the key, being watched by Brewer. Bailey Kruger puts it inside. That pulled back out over to Bailey Kruger on the near wing. Bailey Kruger moves it over on the far side to Kapisansky. That brought back. Moved over right at the free throw line is Scaling. Scaling gets it back over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger back over to Scaling. Scaling into the paint. That over on the near side as a shot by Kapisansky. That one just off. Rebound by Pioneer. Here comes Brewer for Pioneer. Brewer comes over half court. Coming down the far side. Brewer being watched by Scaling. Comes. Fires it over to Maxner. Maxner back to Brewer. Brewer puts it up just a little strong. Jones getting the rebound as she is tied up. As they'll say jump ball. As Bailey Kruger and got tied up with her. As it's pointing Ann Arbor Pioneers' way into Davis. Davis with the shot that just a little short. Coming the other direction, here comes Dexter. As Bailey Kruger takes it over half court, comes on the far wing, trying to get it inside. That tipped away, stolen away. Jones had it now knocked down. Coming into it is Fuchs. Fuchs on the near baseline, kicks it back to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger into the paint. There's a three-point shot, and that's put in by Fuchs. So Fuchs with the first points of the game. It's Dexter 3, Pioneer nothing. Brewer inbounds. Jones coming up the far side. Now Jones comes to the near side. Gets it over to Brewer. Brewer quickly ahead. Full court pressure by Dexter. Over to Davis. Davis puts it up and a travel called. 6:27 left to go here in the first quarter. It is Dexter up 3-0 on Pioneer. Bringing it ahead is Scaling. Scaling for Dexter. Comes over half court. Scaling being watched by Jones. Comes over on the near wing. Scaling into the near corner. Now trying to pull that in is Kapisansky. Knocked down, and here comes Pioneer. Brewer has it for Pioneer. 3-0, the Dexter lead. Brewer calling out signals as she comes over half court. Moves down the near wing over to Jones. Jones gets a screen by Gatson. Jones bounce pass underneath, or gets it over to Davis. Davis gets it, trying to get it back to Gatson. That tipped away. Here comes Dexter with it. Coming down. That pass over. There's a shot by Scaling. That one, three-pointer, just off the front of the rim. Scaling trying to get the rebound. Out of bounds. That'll go over to Pioneer. Dexter with the 3-0 lead. 5:41 left to go here in the first. As Brewer will inbound on the far baseline, right in front of her own bench. Jones has it. Jones comes to the near side. Full court pressure again by Dexter. Jones gets it over half court, over to Brewer. Brewer underneath, over to Davis. Davis puts it up. Just not quite strong enough as it caught the rim. Out of bounds. That will be Dexter ball. Will it? No, it'll be Pioneer ball. The Dexter player had to run out as the ball went into the hallway, right over by the theater across the way. So that's pulled in. Brewer will inbound baseline left, right underneath her own basket. 5 minutes, 28 seconds left to go here in the first. 3-0 lead by the Dreadnoughts. That inbound, trying to get it over to Davis. There's a whistle and a foul. That foul's going to go on Pioneer. First foul of the game, so Dexter will inbound. As Kapisansky inbounds, now bringing it ahead is Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger on the far wing. Bailey Kruger, hands off, trying to get in. That's sent back. Over on the near side, Kapisansky sends it back to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger into the far corner. That put up as that three-pointer will go in with a foul. As that's Kapisansky with the three-pointer and a possible 4-point play. So it is 6 points now, 6-0 for Dexter. Kapisansky at the line, shooting one. Puts it up, rolls all the way around and down. It did a 360 twice before going in, but that will be 7-0, the lead by Dexter. Jones brings it ahead for Pioneer over half court. Dexter backs off on the full court pressure. Jones points over on the near side, trying to call out signals. Gets a screen from Gatson. Jones bounces it to Brewer. Brewer puts up a three. That one just a little strong. Pulled the other way. Here comes Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger bounce pass on the far side, trying to put that up over to Roller. Wouldn't fall down. Now here comes Pioneer the other direction, trying to get it ahead to Davis. That knocked away. Loose ball right at the center court. Davis with it, battling a pair of Dexter Dreadnoughts, and that is going to end up being a jump ball, and that will go Dexter way. 2 fouls for Pioneer, 1 on Dexter. Excuse me, that'll be Pioneer ball as Brewer inbounds it to Jones, then gets it back. Brewer gets the screen, comes over on the far wing. Brewer trying to get into the paint. That knocked away as the ball picked up by Scaling. Scaling drops it back over to Kapuscinski. Underneath, Kapuscinski into the paint. Now gets it back over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger over to Scaling. Scaling gets it back over to Fuchs. Fuchs puts that up. That off the rim. Pulled down by Gatson. Gatson over to Brewer. Here comes Pioneer. Dexter with the 7-0 lead. 4 minutes left to go here in the first. Brewer over half court for Pioneer. She gets it underneath to Gatson. Gatson at the free throw line. Puts that up and it rolls down. That's first points for Pioneer. 7 points for Dexter, 2 for Pioneer. That pulled ahead as here Dexter has it into the near corner. That put up and no basket. That'll be a travel as Roller had it in the corner. Took the extra slide step. And that'll be Pioneer ball. 3:40 left to go here in the first. 7 points for Dexter, 2 for Pioneer. Brewer will inbound on the near sideline. Jones in the backcourt with her, gets it over to Jones. Jones back to Brewer. Brewer coming out the near sideline. Brewer calls out signals, comes over half court. Brewer gets it underneath the Gatson. Gatson puts it up off glass. That just off the side, trying to grab that Muntean back there. Gatson had it. Tied up. Timeout called by Pioneer. We'll take it with them. We'll play a little push on. At this point, it is Dexter 7, Pioneer 2, 3:22 left to go here in the first. You're watching Pioneer Women's Junior Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. 3:22 left to go here in the first quarter. Dexter with the 5-point lead. Pioneer coming out of a timeout as they break the huddle. Gatson out there, Maxner, Muntean, Jones, and Brewer, your 5 for Pioneer. As Dexter will inbound baseline left. Maxner watching the inbound. Taking that over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger over to Fuchs. Fuchs back to Scaling. Back over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger brings it up for the Dreadnoughts. Sends it over to Kapuscinski. Now move back over to Scaling. Scaling at the three-point line. Now there's a three-point shot. That by Fuchs. Rebound by Gatson. Gatson bounce passes over to Brewer. Here comes Pioneer with it. Brewer comes up over half court for Pioneer. Brewer underneath the Maxner. Maxner right underneath the basket. Double team. That knocked away by Dexter. As that brought ahead, here comes Scaling with it. Scaling on the near wing. Scaling comes down on the near side of the baseline. Gets it back to Bailey Kruger. And over to Roller. Roller over on the far side. And that shot good for Kapuscinski. That'll be a three-point shot. She has 7, 10 points for Dexter. As Dexter has the 8-point lead, 2:22 left to go here in the first. Brewer over half court for Pioneer, comes over on the far wing. Brewer into the far corner. Bounce pass over to Muntean. Muntean bounces it right at the free throw line to Maxner. Hands it back to Muntean on the near wing. Muntean cross court pass, trying to get it over to Jones. Jones has a couple dreadnoughts trying to pull that away from her. Battle for it on the ground. Coming away with it is Scaling. Gets it over to Kapisansky. Kapisansky puts it up off glass as a foul called. As that foul is going to go on Muntean. That is the third foul for Pioneer. 1 for Dexter. As that puts Kapisansky at the line, shooting 2. She toes the line, bends the knees, eyes the basket, puts it up, puts it in. That is 8 points for Kapisansky, and she has one more free throw coming. 11 for Dexter, 2 for Pioneer. Trying to make an even 10-point lead. Kapisansky has one more shot, bends the knees, dribbles the ball, eyes the rim, puts it up. And that off to the side. Whistle, though. And was that a lane violation? It looks like it is. So Kapisansky will get another shot at it. So they'll reshoot on the lane violation. That up. And that rims out of bounds. That'll be Pioneer ball. So it is a 9-point lead for Dexter, 11-2. Here in the first, 1 minute, 50 seconds left to go in the first. Brewer to inbound, baseline right. Jones in the backcourt with her. Jones gets it right back to Brewer. Brewer brings it ahead for Pioneer. Brewer comes over half court. As Bailey Kruger watching her. Brewer underneath the Maxner. Maxner puts it up just a little strong. That pulled down by Dexter. Coming the other way, Kapisansky gets it over. That to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger on the far wing being watched by Brewer. Sends it over on the far side to Roller. Roller on the far wing gets it back to Bailey Kruger. Top of the key, now works her way around the arc. Over to Kapisansky underneath. That over, trying to knock it down. Trying to pull that away was Maxner to get in front of the pass. Just couldn't control it, went out of bounds, but good job to stop an inlet pass into the paint. As to inbound it is Kapisansky. Baseline right underneath her own basket. Gets it over to Roller. Roller bounce pass in the corner to Kapisansky. Kapisansky trying to work her way away from Jones. Now over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger puts it up. That just a little strong off the glass and off the front of the rim. Here comes Brewer for Pioneer. Brewer comes over half court. Brewer stutter steps, comes to her left on the near wing. Loses the ball, but that goes right to Jones. Jones works her way around the arc, top of the key. Gets the free throw line. Bounce pass over to Maxner. Maxner gets it back to Muntean, top of the key. Muntean moves it into the corner for Jones. Jones in the far corner. Bounce pass underneath, trying to get it to Davis. That tipped away. Should stay Pioneer ball, and it will. 38.8 seconds left to go. It is a 9-point lead by the Dreadnoughts. Pioneer will inbound baseline left. Oh, they'll say that's Dexter ball. Now they switched it. Okay, I swear. Yeah, I was with Coach Coach complained about that and got that changed. So Brewer has it. Top of the key. Brewer comes over on the near side, gets it over to Jones. Jones into the paint, puts it up with the right hand off the back end in. And it's 2 points for Jones and 4 points for Pioneer. 24 seconds left to go. Coming up is Kapisansky. Kapisansky on the far wing gets her way into the paint over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger back to Kapisansky. Kapisansky dribbling into the paint, puts it up with the right hand off the side of the rim, falls off the near side. Here comes Pioneer. Brewer with it. 6 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. There's a three-pointer by Jones that tipped by Dexter. As coming over to block that was Gullickson. And so at the end of one, it is Dexter 11 and Pioneer 4. Pioneer able to cut into that lead as it is a 7-point lead for the Dreadnoughts. Let's play a little push on and get you fired up for the second quarter. as Coach Kachinko having last-moment instructions with the Pioneer team over on the other side for Dexter, Coach Cooper. Filling his team in, and we'll have Dexter breaks the huddle. Possession arrow pointing Pioneer's way. That'll be inbounded right in front of us on the near sideline. Jones comes to inbound. Watching the inbound pass. Gullickson came over. Now they'll let Pioneer inbound. It's Jones. Gets it to Brewer. Brewer for Pioneer. Heads up towards top of the key. Brewer trying to work her way to the paint. Gets it underneath to Davis. Davis with the dribble. And trying to grab that away was Roller. Davis up with the right hand. That bounced off the back of the rim. Muntean trying to grab it. Gets it back out to Jones. Jones on the far wing. Jones works her way around the arc. Hands it to Brewer. Brewer coming down that far sideline. Into the far corner. Brewer back over to Muntean. Muntean for three. That one just a little off to the near side. Pulled away by Dexter. As battling with that, Gullickson had it, as that is going to be Dexter ball. Kapisanski will inbound, baseline left. Dexter has the 11-4 lead here on Pioneer. 7:31 left to go here in the second. Bailey Kruger brings it up for Dexter. Bailey Kruger comes over half court, gets it over to Kapisanski. Kapisanski comes up top of the key, now moves it over to Scaling on the near wing. Scaling trying to get it underneath to Simpson. Simpson back over to Bailey Kruger, right at the free throw line. Moves it, coming in. Kapisanski kicks it over. Great job by Davis to block the Simpson shot. Here comes Pioneer. Brewer has it over half court. Brewer comes over on the far wing. Lofts it over to Jones. Jones spinning with it. Scaling watching her, trying to bounce it underneath. That's going to go over to Dexter. As Dexter providing a lot of pressure D. 6 minutes, 56 seconds left to go here before halftime. 7-point lead by Dexter as they inbound. Scaling brings it ahead for the Dreadnoughts. Scaling being watched by Jones. Dribbles on the far wing. Scaling into the far corner. Gets that over to Shaw. Shaw bounce pass over to Kapisanski. Kapisanski trying to get it underneath. Spinning over to Scaling on the near wing. And she stepped out. Or no, is that a foul call? Foul called, so that is going to be 5 fouls on Pioneer, 1 on Dexter. Kapisanski will inbound for Dexter, baseline right underneath her own basket. Kapisanski, and that just out of the reach. That'll go over to Pioneer, trying to get it over to Shaw. Pioneer ball as Brewer will inbound on the near sideline. Gets it over to Jones. Jones brings it ahead for Pioneer. 7-point lead for Dexter. Jones over half court, comes over on the near wing. Jones over to Muntean on the far wing. Muntean bounce pass back to Jones in the far corner. Jones puts up an 18-footer. That one just a little long, trying to hold it in. Gatson gets the rebound. That bounced it off the rim. Gatson covered up. Bounce pass over to Brewer. Brewer puts it up for three. That rims out. Trying to grab it underneath is Baybeck. Baybeck has that grabbed. As that is going to be over to Dexter. As jump ball Dexter's way. Bailey Kruger brings it over half court for Dexter. Bailey Kruger, top of the key, moves it over. That grabbing and Scaling on the near wing. Scaling back over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger works her way around the arc. Picked up the dribble. Looking for a place to go with it. Gets it over to Kapisanski. Kapisanski over onto the far wing. Gets it underneath the Scaling. Scaling high off the glass. Puts that in. That's her first points. 2 points for her. 13 for Dexter. 4 for Pioneer. 9-point lead for Dexter. Jones brings it ahead for Pioneer. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go before halftime. Jones about 5 feet off of the top of the key. Moves it to Brewer on the near wing. Brewer gets a screen from Gatson. Trying to dump it underneath the Gatson. Gatson puts it up. That rolls just off. Hit the front of the rim. Rolled off to the far side. Pulling it up. Kapisanski had it. And Muntean came over. That will be a jump ball. That'll go Pioneer's way this time. Pioneer to inbound. Baseline left. Right underneath their own basket. Brewer comes in to inbound it. Dexter with the 9-point lead. Brewer kicks it underneath, trying to get that Gatson, and there's a foul. Foul, that will be on Kapisanski. That is the second foul on Dexter. 5 on Pioneer this half. Burr will inbound again, baseline left. Burr gets it to Jones. Jones on the far wing takes a long two-pointer that grabbed by Scaling. Scaling for Dexter into the paint, puts it up off the glass. A little strong, trying to pull that down. Battle for it underneath. That will be a jump ball as Dorian grabbed the rebound and Pioneer tied her up. That jump ball pointed Dexter's way. Kapisanski gets it back in the near corner, works her way around the arc, kicks it on the far wing. Coming down the far baseline is Steinbecker. That grab Kapisanski over to Dorian. Back to Scaling. Scaling, top of the key. Scaling comes over along the near baseline, trying to get it underneath. That pass grabbed away by Muntean. Here comes Pioneer. Jones has it coming down the far sideline. Jones slows up, kicks it over to Burr. Burr, top of the key, over to Muntean. Muntean takes a 14-footer. That one wouldn't fall, out of bounds. So went off of the rim. And it's going to be Dexter ball. 4:26 left to go before halftime. Dexter 13, Pioneer 4. Dexter will inbound. Kapisanski has it, inbounds it to Scaling. Scaling coming ahead for the Dreadnoughts. Scaling comes over half court, being watched by Jones. Scaling gets it over to Kapisanski, then gets it back on the far wing. Scaling dumps it off in the far corner. Shot that rimmed off for three, as that was Steinberger. And that will be a travel called on the loose ball as Nesbitt tried to pick it up and along the near boards. And travel called. That'll be Pioneer ball. 4:09 left to go as Wernemount gets the inbound, gets it right back to Brewer. Brewer comes over half court for Pioneer. 4 minutes left to go before halftime. 9-point lead by the Dreadnoughts. That ball over to Muntean on the far wing. Muntean bounce pass. That knocked away. Coming the other direction. Here comes the Dreadnoughts. Scaling has it. Or excuse me, that's Steinberger on the far wing. Coming in. Back over to Steinberger. There's a three-pointer. That off the rim. Trying to pull that down. That's going to stay. Dexter ball as Gatson trying to pull that out, and that went out of bounds. Dexter calls a timeout. We'll take it with him. We'll play a message from the MHSAA. You're watching Pioneer Women's JV Basketball, brought to you by Harper Broadcasting.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
It is 3 minutes, 41 seconds left to go before halftime. Pioneer down by 9 points as it's Dexter 13, Pioneer 4 here from the main gym on Pioneer's campus. There's Coach Hicks in the building as the varsity ladies team will play Skyline right after this. Kapisanski will inbound, baseline right underneath their own basket. As get that over on the near side to Nesbitt, out of bounds. That will be Pioneer ball. Maxner will inbound on the near sideline, or now it will be Brewer who will inbound on the near sideline. Brewer inbounds to Maxner. Maxner gets it back to Brewer. Brewer comes down for Pioneer as she comes over half court. Three players looking to check in for Dexter. Brewer comes along the side of the paint, puts it up, not quite strong enough. Scaling comes the other direction over half court. Scaling coming down the near sideline now. Kicks over on the far sideline. Kapisanski gets it back to Scaling. Scaling with the shot from the free throw line. That goes in. That's 4 points for her. That makes it an 11-point lead by Dexter. Brewer brings it ahead for Pioneer. Brewer over half court. Brewer comes over top of the key, getting into the paint, and contact made. That'll be a whistle. That'll be the third foul on Dexter. Not in the act of shooting, so Pioneer will inbound. Baseline left. Jones comes in for Pioneer, and like I said, almost 3 players switching for Dexter. Brewer's going to come off and get a rest. Jones will inbound baseline left. Gets it over to Muntean. Muntean on the near wing. Muntean dribbles, gets it over. Wernemount has it back to Muntean on the near wing. Wernemount trying to provide a screen. Now that's over to Muntean, gets it top of the key. Muntean bounce pass over to Jones on the far wing. Jones works her way around the arc, comes up top of the key. Jones gets a screen from Gatson. Jones on the far wing, now moves it over to Maxner, top of the key. Maxner, bounce pass over to Muntean. Muntean moves it over to Jones and along the near corner. Back over to Maxner. Maxner, top of the key. Maxner has Scaling working on her. Gets it over, moves it to Muntean on the far wing. Muntean over to Jones along the far sideline. Gets a screen from Muntean. Now Jones steps back, trying to get a little room to work. Dexter providing tight defense. Jones comes up top of the key over to Muntean. Muntean over to Wernemount. Wernemount with the shot that off the back of the rim, tipped away, pulled down by Roller. Here comes Dexter. Roller for the Dreadnoughts comes over half court. Roller kicks it over to Scaling. Scaling over to Fuchs. Fuchs with the shot that off the rim, pulled down by Pioneer. As Maxner got it, Scaling trying to grab on there. Scaling picks up the foul. That's 4 fouls on Dexter now, 4 fouls on Pioneer. 1 minute, 51 seconds left to go before half. Jones brings it ahead for Pioneer. Jones comes over half court. Jones over to Wernemount. Wernemount on the near wing. Wernemount bounce pass over to Muntean, top of the key. Muntean puts it underneath over to Maxner. And any point in time that ball is not moving, Dexter's looking to grab a hold of it and cause a jump ball. 1 minute, 36 seconds left to go. Jones will inbound, baseline left. Jones gets it over to Muntean. Muntean dribbles to her right, now kicks it over to Jones. Jones works top of the key, now coming over on the far side, trying to bounce pass inside. And a whistle called that is going to go over to Dexter. 1 minute, 28 seconds left to go. Full court pressure by Pioneer. That moved over on the near side to Fuchs. Fuchs coming down. Bailey Kruger has it coming down the far sideline for the Dreadnoughts. Moves it over to Scaling. Scaling top of the key. Scaling kicks it into the near corner for Galaxon. Galaxon, that pass. Galaxon's shot comes just a little strong. Out of bounds. That'll be Pioneer ball. Muntean will inbound. Baseline right. 1 minute, 13 seconds left to go. It's Dexter 15, Pioneer 4. Both teams have 4 fouls apiece in this half. Brewer will inbound now, baseline right. Muntean gets a break. Brewer getting it over, trying to get it to Jones. That tipped away as flashing in front of it was Bailey Kruger. Full court pressure by the Dreadnoughts. 1 minute, 13 seconds left. Brewer will come over on the far sideline, right in front of her own bench to inbound that. Again, Dexter providing lots of pressure on the inbounds. That gets it over to Gatson. Gatson moves it back to Brewer. Here comes Brewer for Pioneer. She comes over half court, working against Roller. Brewer on the near wing comes down underneath the baseline, moves over to Maxner. Maxner over to Jones. Jones for 3. That off the back of the rim. That pulled down by Scaling. Scaling sends it ahead for Roller for the Dreadnoughts. Roller drops it off as that was put in. Trying to see, was that, I think that was Kapisansky with that. That would be 11 points for her. 17 points for Dexter, 4 for Pioneer. 13-point lead, 47.6 seconds left to go before halftime. So we'll take a brief message from the MHSAA and be right back with the remainder of the first half.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
47.6 seconds left to go. Jones will inbound, or Maxner will inbound, sorry. Baseline right. Dexter again providing full court pressure is Scaling, guarding the inbound pass. As that's launched all the way down, it's a foot race as Jones has it, trying to stay in bounds and grabbed by Bailey Kruger. As soon as Jones grabbed it, Bailey Kruger got a handle on it. That will be jump ball over to Dexter. Inbound over to Scaling. Scaling bringing it ahead for the Dreadnoughts. 39 seconds left to go before halftime. Scaling comes over half court. Scaling works her way on the far wing, trying to cut into the paint, kicks it over to Roller. Roller back to Bailey, over to Scaling for three. Scaling puts it that off the front of the rim, trying to pull that down underneath. Battle for it. I think it ended up being two Dexter players battling for it underneath. And it's going to be Pioneer ball with 22.7 seconds left to go. Maxner will inbound. Maxner bounce pass over to Brewer. Brewer coming down the far side. Brewer working her way against Roller. Ahead, trying to get it into the paint. That tipped away by Dexter. 13 seconds left to go. As coming the other way is Bailey Kruger. Now that over to Scaling. Scaling on the near wing. Scaling being watched by Maxner into the near corner. That shot just a little short by Gullickson, out of bounds, and that is the end of the first. So at the end of one, it is Dexter 17, Pioneer 4. It is Jones with 2 and Gatson with 2 for Pioneer. On the other side, it is 6, 7, is that 10? And that is 10. 10 points for Kapisanski. 4 points for Scaling and 3 points for Fuchs. So that will be so that is the scoring for both teams. Let's take a moment. Let's play some messages from the MHSAA as we are counting down. 9 minutes, 45 seconds left to go of halftime. You're watching Pioneer Women's Junior Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Reasons for high school multi-sport participation: fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the Health and Safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As halftime ending here, it is Dexter up 17-4 on Pioneer. As Pioneer will inbound and along the near sideline, right in front of us. Pioneer going from left to right in this second half. Jones inbounds it to Maxner. Maxner moves it over to Brewer. Brewer on the far wing. Brewer being watched by Scaling. Brewer dribbles, gets a screen from Gatson. Brewer takes a three-pointer. That off the front, the back, and in. Excellent job by Brewer to knock that down. So it is a 10-point lead. Here comes Dexter. Bringing it ahead is Kapisanski. Kapisanski moves it over to Scaling. Scaling on the near wing. Scaling has Jones watching her. Gets a screen from Kruger. That into the far corner. Kapisanski tries to put it up. Tried to actually dump it underneath the roller. That pulled away by Pioneer. Here comes Brewer. Brewer gets it underneath. Trying to get it over to Davis. Whistle. That will be Pioneer ball as they'll inbound baseline right. That over to Brewer. Brewer takes a 18-footer and rattles it home. That'll give Pioneer 9 points. The Brewer has 5 points as it's an 8-point lead by Dexter. Scaling has it for Dexter right at the blockades. Jones trying to knock it away. Scaling dumps it off in the far corner for Roller. Roller, long cross-ice pass. That for Kapisanski. Kapisanski works top of the key into the free throw line now. Roller for three. That off the back of the rim. Pulling it down is Gatson. Gatson over to Brewer. Brewer brings it ahead for Pioneer. Brewer comes over half court. Brewer, top of the key, gets a screen from Maxter, comes over on the near wing. Brewer cuts down the baseline, puts it up, rolls it in. Brewer now has 7 points. It's a 6-point lead by Dexter. Pioneer on a run as bringing it ahead is Bailey Kruger for Dexter. She moves it on the near side, dumps it over to Kapisanski. Kapisanski trying to bounce pass it underneath the Bailey Kruger. That's stolen away by Brewer. Brewer comes over half court. Brewer, top of the key, works her way into paint, trying to dump it underneath. That out of bounds and will go over to Dexter, trying to find Gatson underneath. Bailey Kruger will inbound baseline right. As over to Kapisanski. Kapisanski over to Fuchs. Fuchs back to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger coming down the far wing. Bailey Kruger into the far corner. Scaling gets it on the near wing, trying to get it underneath. Kapisanski puts it up, that a little short. Here comes Brewer for Pioneer. Pioneer down 6 points. Brewer, top of the key, dribbles onto the far wing, now into the far corner. Brewer gets underneath to Davis. Davis puts it up, that just a little off to the right. Pulling it down is Scaling. Here comes Dexter, 6-point lead for the Dreadnoughts. Scaling brings it over half court, gets it over to Fuchs. Fuchs back to Scaling, top of the key, moves it over to Roller on the far wing. Roller dumping it over to Fuchs. Fuchs takes a long, and they'll say that was a three-pointer for Fuchs. That's her second three-pointer. She has 6 points, and it's back to a 9-point lead by the Dreadnoughts. Brewer brings it ahead for Pioneer. Brewer over half court, being watched by Scaling. Brewer comes up onto the near wing, now dribbles to her left. Gets it over to Jones. Jones gets into the paint, trying to put it up. Contact made. That will be a foul. First foul of the half will go to Dexter. Jones will be shooting two. 4:57 left to go here in the third. Jones toes the rim, dribbles, bends the knees, puts it up. That off the back of the rim. Jones will get a second free throw coming. Substitutions for Dexter, and now a timeout called. We'll take it with them. How about a little push on? You're watching Pioneer Women's Junior Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. 4 minutes, 57 seconds left to go here in the third. It is Dexter 20, Pioneer 11. Pioneer went on a run to open up the second half, and then a three-pointer kicked it back out to a 9-point lead. That was by Fuchs. Fuchs has 2 3-pointers. That's her 6 points. Now Jones. First shot went off the back of the rim. Jones with the second shot. Dribbles, bends at the knees, puts it up. And just off to the left, as that will be Dexter ball. Kapisanski to inbound, baseline right, gets it over, trying to pull that away. Now coming down with the Bailey Kruger for the Dreadnoughts. Bailey Kruger puts it into the near corner for Roller. Roller moves it over to Kapisanski. Kapisanski into the far corner for Fuchs. Fuchs puts it up for three. That off the front of the rim, pulling it away. Here comes Jones for Pioneer. That tipped away from behind. Bailey Kruger has it, dishes it off to Kapisanski. Kapisanski nails a three-pointer. That is her 13th point. She leads all scores. And it's Dexter 23, Pioneer 11. 12-point lead by Dexter. Brewer has it for Pioneer. Brewer passes over to Jones on the near wing. Jones gets a screen from Gatson. Jones at the free throw line, dumps underneath the Gatson. Over to Davis. Davis puts it up off glass, just a little strong. Out of bounds. That will be Dexter ball. 4:02 left to go here in the third quarter. Dexter 23, Pioneer 11. Bailey Kruger brings it ahead for the Dreadnoughts. Maxner watching her. Now Roller has it in along the far sideline. That brought back over to Kapisanski. Knocked away by Davis. Here comes Pioneer out of bounds. As Davis tipped it away, trying to keep it in bounds and flipped out of bounds. They'll go back over to Dexter. 3:45, but good job by Davis to get her hands in the passing lane. Almost able to pick that one off. Now that moved over to Gullickson. Gullickson over to Roller on the near wing. Roller being watched by Davis. Cuts towards the paint. Now kicks it back. Long two-pointer. That pulled down by Gatson. Gatson moves it to Brewer. Here comes Pioneer. They're down 12 as Brewer brings it over half court. Brewer working against Kapisanski, putting it underneath. Trying to feed it underneath to Gatson. That pulled away. Lifted up in the air. Gatson trying to get it. That poked away and coming down the other way. Here comes Dexter. Roller puts it up. That goes in, and the foul. That's Roller's first point. She'll have a free throw to go along with it. I think they haven't put the points up on the board yet. Yep, now they have. Okay. Roller trying to make it a 15-point lead by Dexter. Puts the ball up. That bounces off the side of the rim. Davis went up for it. And whistle. As they're going to say lane violation. Roller will get another shot at it. Roller puts it up, and off the side of the rim, pulling it down is Burr. Burr for Pioneer. Headed the other direction. It is a 14-point lead by Dexter. Burr has it on the near wing. Burr works her way around the arc, coming down along the near side of the baseline. Davis with the rebound. Davis puts it up off glass, or puts it in, not off glass, just puts it straight up and in. Excellent job by Davis, her first points of the game. It's a 12-point lead by Dexter. They have it as Bailey Kruger moves it over on the far side to Kapisansky. Kapisansky. And tipped away. As Dexter brings in a number of players, and now Dexter will inbound as Shaw will inbound on the far side, gets it over to Scaling. Scaling, top of the key, moves it over, and pulling away is Dorian. Dorian over to Shaw. Shaw in along the far sideline. That ball loose in along the baseline. Shaw with it there, kicking it back. That's a three-pointer off the front of the rim, pulling it down. Maxner gets it over to Brewer. Here comes Pioneer. Brewer gets it over to Jones. Jones coming down into the paint, puts it high off the glass, rolled around and fell out. Just refused to go in. It was a good shot and just couldn't get the roll. And it's going to go over Dexter's way. Shaw will inbound as it stays a 12-point lead. Dexter 25, Pioneer 13, 2:10 left to go. That ball over to Steinbrecher. Battled over on the near side. That tipped away. It'll be Dexter ball. Shaw will inbound right in front of us. Being watched by Maxner. Shaw gets it over to Scaling. Scaling coming down along, dumping it underneath. That put up and in by Nesbitt. 27 points for Dexter, 13 for Pioneer. As Jones brings it ahead for Pioneer. Jones along the far wing. Jones dribbles into the far corner. Now puts up a three, that off the rim. Jones trying to get her own rebound. That pulled away by Steinbrecher. Steinbrecher quickly ahead to Scaling. Scaling has Gatson in front of her. That kick back to Shaw. Shaw for three. As it is Dexter 30, Pioneer 13. 1 minute, 20 seconds left to go here in the third. Brewer bringing it ahead for Pioneer. Brewer comes up top of the key, gets a screen for Maxner. Brewer works her way around the arc, gets it over to Jones. Jones dribbling on the near wing. Jones gets a screen for Muntean, bounces it underneath to Gatson. Gatson puts it up. That just hit the back of the rim and rolled off the far side, but a whistle blown. It's going to be on Scaling. Gatson at the line, shooting two. 2 fouls for Pioneer this half, 2 fouls for Dexter. First one, that goes off the front of the rim. Gatson has the second one. As up and in, here comes Dexter. 3 points for Gatson. That lifted into the near corner. Shaw puts up a three-pointer. That off the side of the rim. Scaling trying to pull it down. That's out of bounds, and that will go Pioneer's direction. For 51.1 seconds left to go here in the third. 30 points for Dexter, 14 for Pioneer. 16-point lead by the Dreadnoughts. Pioneer would love to cut into that lead before the end of the third. Brewer bringing it ahead for Pioneer. Brewer on the near wing. Brewer gets it over to Jones. Jones over to Muntean. Top of the key. Back over to Brewer on the far wing. Brewer dribbles to her right. Brewer Over to Jones on the near wing. Jones bounce pass underneath, trying to get it to Davis. That pulled away by Shaw. Here comes Dexter coming the other direction. Scaling with it. Scaling goes over half court. Scaling dribbles to her left, gets the free throw line, kicks it back to Shaw. Shaw, top of the key, moves it over on the far side over to Dorian. Picking up Scaling. Now 6 points left to go. Scaling has that tipped away by Davis, and they will say it was not all ball. 4 seconds left to go. 3 fouls on Pioneer, 2 on Dexter. Scaling goes to the line. First one up. And rolls off the front, the back, the front of the rim, and in. That is 5 points for Scaling. She has 1 more to go. 31 points for Dexter, 14 for Pioneer. Scaling dribbles with authority, then puts it up, and that rattles home. 6 points for Scaling, 32 points for Dexter. 14 for Pioneer, 3 seconds left to go. Brewer dribbling, 1 second left to go. Brewer launches it from half court. Oh, it just went a little to the near side, and that will do it for the third. In the third, it is Dexter 32, Pioneer 14. For Pioneer, you have... let's see, 7 points for Brewer, 3 for Gatson, 2 for Jones, and 2 for Davis. 13 points for Kapisansky. It's 6 points for Scaling, 6 points for Fuchs, 3 points for Shaw, and 2 points for Roller. Let's play a little push on and get you prepared for Pioneer attempting to make an epic comeback here in the fourth. You're watching Pioneer Women's JV Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. 8 minutes up on the clock, fourth quarter ready to go. As the ball inbounded by Dexter, Scaling has it. Scaling comes along the far wing. Scaling trying to work against Muntean. Scaling along the far sideline, gets a screen, comes down the far baseline. Jones staying in front of her. Scaling now on the near wing. Kicks it over to Steinbrecher. Steinbrecher into the paint, puts it up off glass, just a little hard. Bayback gets it. That moved over to Brewer. Here comes Pioneer. Brewer coming down with it. Brewer puts up a three-pointer and puts it in. Brewer with 8 points. As that ball, here comes Dexter coming down the near side, Scaling directly into the paint. Kicks it underneath. That ball a little high. Rebounded by Muntean. Here comes Pioneer. The other direction, Brewer with it. Brewer, top of the key. She hit a three-pointer last time. Now Jones has it top of the key. Jones gets a screen from Baybeck, puts it up off glass. Wouldn't fall down. That ball pulled away by Dexter. As with it, Nesbitt. Nesbitt gets it over on the far side. As Nesbitt got it over to Dorian. And Pioneer will inbound the ball. No, Dexter will inbound the ball. Excuse me. Shaw to inbound right in front of the Pioneer bench. Richards watching her. Inbounds over to Scaling. Muntean watching Scaling. Scaling comes over half court for Dexter. Scaling on the far wing. Kicks it over to Steinbrecher. Steinbrecher moves it. That ball, Dexter has it. Scaling back to Steinbrecher. Steinbrecher back over to Scaling and along the far sideline. And pulled down, coming up, bounce pass over on the near side to Shaw. Shaw, as that's put up by Dorian, and Pulled down by Pioneer. Nope, Dorian hit it. As Brewer brings it ahead. Brewer over half court. 35 points for Dexter, 17 for Pioneer. Brewer on the near wing. Brewer trying to get it underneath to Gatson. That tipped away, coming down. Here comes Scaling with it. Scaling puts it up off glass and in. That'll be 8 points for Scaling. Brewer heading the other way. 5:50 left to go here in the fourth. Brewer for Pioneer. Shoots a three. That one just off the rim. Tipped the rim, came off to the right. Rebound by Dexter. Bringing it up is Steinbrecher. Steinbrecher being watched by Baybeck. Steinbrecher in along the far sideline. Trying to pull that over is Scaling. Scaling in along the far sideline. Scaling stops at the three-point line, puts it underneath. That just a little hard by Nesbitt. As the rebound, Richards had it for Pioneer. Here comes Brewer for Pioneer. 5 minutes, 5 seconds left to go. As that ball underneath put up. Would not fall as Gatson trying to put that up. It looks like for some reason we lost our the scoreboard. As that's put up by Gatson, she rolls it around and down. 4 points for Gatson. So hopefully that scoreboard will update. Gatson now toes the line, puts it up, and just off the side. 4 minutes, 57 seconds left to go. 37 points for Dexter, 18 for Pioneer. And we will take a brief break as we have a timeout call. We'll play a message from the MHSAA. You are watching Pioneer Women's Junior Varsity Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As that ball inbounded, coming down the far baseline, sent ahead. Now in along the near sideline, that put up and put in, as that was Simpson with her first points. Here comes Pioneer the other direction as Jones has it. Jones into the paint. That pulled away, brought the other direction by Simpson, now grabbed away by Gatson. Gatson puts it up high off the glass, would not fall. Knocked the other direction. Coming down is Kapisansky. Kapisansky being watched by Muntean. That put into the far corner. Trying to pull that up. The shot by Gullickson. That grabbed down by Maxner. 39 points for Dexter and 18 for Pioneer. As that ball put up by Jones would not fall, but she'll get two shots. As literally it spun out. Jones shooting two. Jones toes the line, puts it up, puts it off glass and in. 3 points for Jones. 20-point lead by Dexter, trying to cut into that Pioneer. Jones puts it that off the back of the rim, grabbed by Davis. Davis moves it over to Jones. Jones puts it off glass and in. And the foul, 6 points for Jones. Jones to the line, shooting 1. That off the back of the rim and down. 6 points for Jones. Here comes Dexter bringing it ahead. Dexter, as that's Bailey Kruger moving it over on the far side to Kapisanski. Pulled away by Davis. Davis puts it up. Davis puts it in. 4 points for Davis. 24 for Pioneer. It's 39 for Dexter. Dexter with it. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left to go. In the fourth, that lifted over on the far side to Simpson. There's a shot off the back of the rim, pulling it down. Great job by Sanders for Pioneer. Coming the other direction, here comes Bailey. Bailey lifts it underneath the Gatson. Push in the back and pulled down. Here comes Bailey Kruger for Dexter. Davis trying to chip that away. Coming down on the far side, Galaxon put up that a little high, but Bailey Kruger puts it in. It's actually her first points of the game. 3 minutes even left to go here in the fourth. 41 points for Dexter, 24 points for Pioneer. As Brewer gets it over to Gatson. Gatson in the paint. Gatson spins with it, and they're going to call a travel. As that's going to go over to Dexter. As Kapisanski will inbound baseline right. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to go. Dexter brings it up the far side. Pulling it down, Gullickson. Now moved it back. As that's Bailey Kruger with it coming down the near side. And they'll call double dribble. That'll go over to Pioneer. As coming up, here comes Pioneer with it. Jones on the near wing, bounce pass over to Brewer. Brewer works her way around the arc into the paint, trying to get it to Davis. Davis on the baseline puts it up. That just off to the left, pulled down by Dexter. Brewer battling for the ball. As going down to the floor, Brewer and Bailey Kruger. Two minutes, 12 seconds left to go. Timeout called as Scaling was coming in with Roller for Dexter. But we'll take a timeout here. We'll play a message from the MHSAA. You are watching Pioneer Women's JV Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. The varsity game versus Skyline is up after this.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
2 minutes, 12 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Dexter has had control from wire to wire. They have the 41-24 lead on Pioneer. 7-point lead by Dexter. Pioneer looking to make a couple positive things happen. Get a little bit more scoring, try and just get a couple things to build on for the next game. Whittle away into this Dexter lead and get a good last 2 minutes to go. Jones to inbound, baseline right for Pioneer. Jones kicks it all the way out to Brewer. Brewer has it on the near wing. Brewer dribbles to her left, now at the free throw line, gets it underneath. That put up high off glass, trying to pull that down. as that was Davis. That'll turn into a jump ball as Kapuscinski will inbound baseline right. 2 minutes, 4 seconds left to go here in the fourth. Maxner watching the inbound. That ball inbounded over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger trapped in the near corner, now works out of it. Sends it ahead, that over to Fuchs. Fuchs back over to Kapuscinski. Kapuscinski working against Maxner, gets it over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger on the near wing. Moves it back over to Scaling. Scaling works her way around the arc on the far wing, now gets it to Roller along the far sideline. Back over to Kapuscinski. Kapuscinski floats it over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger working against Jones. Steps back right at the blockades. Moves it over to Scaling. 1 minute, 30 seconds left to go. Roller getting it back to Kapuscinski. Kapuscinski loses it, and that will be over and back. That'll go over to Pioneer. 1 minute, 24 seconds left to go here in the fourth. 41 points for Dexter, 24 points for Pioneer. As Brewer to inbound, Jones out there for Pioneer, Davis, Muntean, as well as Gatson. Jones has it in along the near sideline. Jones dribbles, spins on the near wing, working against Scaling. Throws the ball back to Brewer. Brewer dribbles to her left, gets to the top of the key. Brewer spins with it, now kicks it over to Muntean, and there will be a whistle. And a timeout call. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go here in the fourth. 41 points for Dexter, 24 for Pioneer. Right after this, the Skyline women's basketball team is in the house as they will be taking on Pioneer, the two varsity teams playing. Game scheduled at 7 o'clock. But we'll see. It'll depend on the ending of the game and how much they put between the games. But it should be right around there. We'll have the Pioneer women's varsity versus Skyline. But more importantly, right now we have to finish up the last minute and a half of the Pioneer women's JV basketball team taking on Dexter. Dexter with the 17-point lead. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. Brewer to inbound on the near sideline. Brewer, that over to Muntean. Muntean hands it back to Brewer. Brewer comes up top of the key. Brewer now on the far wing. Brewer into the far corner. Brewer kicks it over. That over to Gatson. Gatson over to Jones. Jones on the near wing. Jones dribbles to her left. Gets a screen from Muntean. Kicks it back to Brewer on the far wing. Underneath on the baseline. Over to Jones. Jones trying to split. And 3-second violation called. Jones was trying to split a pair and get into paint contact, but 3-second violation called. 45.6 seconds left to go. Coming up the near side is Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger sending it over. That to Fuchs. Back to Bailey Kruger. And foul call. That'll be on Jones. As Jones going for the ball. Got a little bit of the arm instead. There'll be 5 fouls on Pioneer. 5 fouls on Dexter. As Kapuscinski inbounds, gets it over to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger being watched by Muntean. 34 seconds left to go. And over to Scaling. Scaling over to Roller. Roller getting it back to Bailey Kruger. Bailey Kruger moves it back to Kapuscinski. Kapuscinski flipping it over to Roller. Coming down the far sideline. Roller trying to work her way to the baseline. Bounce pass. Whistle. Travel. Pioneer has 18.6 seconds left to go. Try and make something happen with this last shot. Again, just trying to get positive things happening that you can build off of. 17-point lead by Dexter. That inbounded to Jones. Jones coming ahead for Pioneer with it. Jones over half court. Jones moves it to Brewer on the near wing. Brewer takes a three-pointer. And just off the rim, but pulled down by Gatson. Gatson trying to put that up. As Dexter bodies in the way affected the shot. And that is the end of the game. Dexter wins it in convincing fashion, 41-24 over your Pioneer. Battle between these JV squads. Your top scorer for Pioneer was 10 points for Brewer, 2 3-pointers, 2 2-pointers. Jones had 6 points, that on 2 baskets and 2 free throws. Gatson had 4 points, and Davis had 4 points. Over on the Dexter side, 13 points for Kapuscinski. It was 8 points for Scaling, 6 points for Fuchs, and 3 points for Simpson, 3 points for Shaw, 2 points for Bailey Kruger, 2 points for Dorian, and 2 points for Roller. All that unofficial, obviously. So that is the end of the JV game. We have about 14 minutes, 41 seconds before the varsity game happens. We'll stop this broadcast and start another one in mere moments. Thank you for watching Pioneer Women's JV Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. My name is Mark Wiseman, my cameraman James Wiseman. Thank you. We'll see you for the varsity game.